Hiya, welcome to our channel, Sovereignty and Liberty to All. I just thought I'd jump on. Yeah, I've heard about what's been happening in Epstein and what happened to that woman. Absolutely awful, absolutely ridiculous. We shouldn't have to be putting up with this at all in this country. Shouldn't be happening anywhere. But we all know who to blame, don't we, really? We all know who's at the bottom of this. And let's just say it, if it wasn't for them, these people wouldn't even be here. Let's just,
We mean the government, the people at the top, the
yeah,
ones that
if
are
it
calling the
weren't for the
shots, the
government,
criminals in the
yeah,
fraudulent system.
then these people wouldn't even be here. Let's just clarify that. And then you've got people going on about displacement of people, which, oh yeah, it's definitely happening. But when you're going on about, taking people away, saying that, the Muslims that are born in this country aren't English, well, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree because I have a different ethnic family. So, yeah, I will disagree with that, unfortunately.
Muslims and Christians, doesn't matter what religion, it doesn't matter what kind of belief you are or what religion you are. I've said this in my previous videos. We're all religious, even non-believers, and until you actually get that, then you'll understand why we need to stand up for the constitution and religious freedom of this country. Because I'm just sick of people believing this fraudulent criminal system. You know what I mean? Even people that think they're awake, they're just
Are actually asleep.
they're half awake. It's sort of like that. You know what I mean? They're getting little bits of detail. They're believing half truths, but then they're believing the lies. They think like Rupert Law and all this is like for you.
No, they're not.
I can't believe people believe in this crap. You know what I mean?
They're actually not for you at all. They'll be for you till they get in.
Right. When they eradicate the Muslims, what do you think is going to happen then? You know what I mean? You don't
They're
think
gonna come after us.
you don't think they're going to go after Christians? They're after everyone who's for unity,
They're
truth, and
pitting
freedom.
us against each other. This is the big deal. This is what I'm trying to get through to everybody. But no, and no one's willing to damn stand up, and it really pisses me off.
Right. Just to clarify, that's just righteous anger just before anyone says anything. And by the constitution they're in only. And obviously, like, as I'm going to say, we've not hurt anyone. We've not hurt ourselves. You know what I mean? And I'm going to say this now. The way I see it, if we just all unite for truth and freedom, no matter what we believe, how much more better off will we be?
Exactly.
Why do you think I've called my channel Sovereignty and Liberty to All? It's to give everyone that sovereignty, everyone that chance, that liberty and sovereignty. I'm not putting that on my channel for the crack.
No.
I'm putting it as an action for a sovereign heavenly army. This is what I'm saying.
And that's what I mean. You know who it is, but yet you're going to go against a certain group and instead of actually going after what you need to. You know what I mean? It's mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling.
Look up Gary Waterman. He's got the documents. He's got the evidence. It's all there. It's verifiable. And what he says in his words, irrefutable.
Yeah.
People you think who are compromised aren't, and the people who aren't compromised are. You just don't. The deception is so vast, as he said in his videos, that you don't know. You don't know what to believe. And do you know something? That's why I go by God and the Spirit, because it says in Romans, life in the Spirit. I don't want. Like I say, what it is. What I want to get across is that because when you go by the Spirit, you can't be deceived. And I've said this in the other video, they're scared of people getting to the Hebrew Christian roots. They're scared of that. They're really scared of that. And then obviously doing the will of God, you know what I mean? Lining your will with God's fully and overcoming all deceptions, distractions and discouragement, you know what I mean? The government are scared of that. They want you to be binded by the legal acts, which is it's just a false doctrine.
That's what I mean.
Law only. Go by the law only. They can't do anything. Remember all these principles, like your house is your castle and all this lot. You know what I mean? You know, they can't come in unless they've got a verified, irrefutable warrant.
People going on about love, they don't even know what it means. They do not know what it means to love, seriously.
And you know, love, I'm going to say this. Love is having the deep understanding of everything and overcoming all sin. That's what love is. That's why I've said in my previous videos, charity never faileth, which love does never fail. That's why it's the greatest commandment. How many times has it said that in the Bible and throughout? You know what I mean?
This is what I mean. And people say that the for the Bible, the for God. How is anybody for God when people are getting excluded?
This is what I'm saying. People go on about the law of Moses. Oh, is that where you can't drink or you can't do certain things and certain things like that? And I'm thinking, flipping it.
We can do whatever we want. We just choose not to.
So what the hell? What the hell have you been reading? You know what I mean? Goggity boop or something. I just don't get it. Which love is the first and great commandment, you know what I mean? Love God. And then second is like unto it, love thy neighbour as thyself, right? That's the greatest commandment. So that must be the one that doesn't fail.
Yeah.
And if you stick by that, then you're actually keeping all the commandments properly, really. Because if you like doing, I don't know, if like you're...
Me personally, I just think all this that's going on is one big distraction, whilst the powers that be get on with what they get on with, under your nose, by the way.
That's why that's why when we do our own, that's why when I write my own songs and Jill edits them and helps me out trying to get it in the right rhythm and that, you know, that's why we don't go to music. That's why I don't go to the music industry, even though I got offered, and because I know I'll have a legal tie to that. I've said it in my previous videos, and obviously, with regards to that, when you promote your videos, you're actually doing a legal binding contract to them. And I know people are going to be like thinking, flipping out, really? You know what I mean? But the thing is, it's the truth. You know what I mean? Anything to do the glory of thine self, you know, to get the views and to get that sort of like approval from people, forget it. It's a waste of time. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how many views. I've said this. I've got other videos lined up about that. It doesn't matter how many views or followers you've got. But like I said, I do need 50 followers on this channel to get somewhere. To start doing lives and start doing reading out evidence and stuff. Because I'm supporting Gary Waterman. He needs that support right now. More than anybody.
We need 50, what is it, 50 followers or something?
50 followers on TikTok and 50 subscribers on YouTube, I think.
Right. Well, yeah. When we've got that, we'll start dishing the evidence out.
No, yeah, just obviously just because of the way the algorithm goes and that. I'm going to end it here. And I have authority over the enemy in the name of Jesus Christ. Truth for freedom, everyone.